What? You guys are here before I get here? Okay, Doi-san, thank you very much. Okay, just see you next week then. Thank you. That's one out. There's 3 more to go before they leave me alone here. Suga-san's been printing upstairs. I can hear her washing her brushes. And Kawai-san and Aoyama-san are upstairs doing something or other. They're working on the new Japanese website, I think. It's been a very, very quiet day in the shop here. Almost nobody in. As you can see this evening, it's more of the, same old dots, large dots. This is the main octopus head. And it's drawn quite strong lines, quite strong dots, as you would expect, of course. This part's quite easy to get through. Now we're really coming down the stretch on this thing now. I hesitate to say, like when it's going to be finished, because there's still lots of detail here to do. And this next week is going to be full of distractions. I'll be posting a schedule later, I guess, but Wednesday, what's this? This is Monday evening session. There'll be no Tuesday evening session because that's my Ome day. I'll be out in the Ome workshop tomorrow. And I think, I'm not sure the date and the invitation, I have an invitation to the Kickstarter Japan startup. God, what are they doing there? They've got a big press conference thing all lined up for Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. It's their first day. They're going to open like Tuesday night, and they're not having the press conference that night. I guess they want to make sure everybody's campaign is stable and stuff. Got a lot of newbies here, a lot of beginners. They might screw it up. So they're going to wait to see that the campaigns are all stable before calling in the TV and magazines and newspapers and stuff. But I'll be doing that Wednesday afternoon. So there won't be a streaming session Wednesday afternoon, I'm sorry. 2 days in a row without one. What's going to happen? Lose all our followers. He started, but I guess I crashed. Am I not there? Is something wrong? Just a sec. Streaming software, no dropped frames, live, 4.5 minutes. I think I'm on. Is something wrong? Are we up or are we down? Oh no, I'm seeing chat. Everything's running fine, it says. Okay. I've been up for 5 minutes, so. Remember to plug my mic in this time. I learned about a major screw up I made. Was it this morning or last night? I still can't remember what day things happen. I zoomed back out, got the hammer, and started banging for a little bit. It must be this morning, I guess, on the octopus head. And idiot that I am, I hadn't realized that I have braced my camera tripod against the carving bench. So of course, every time I hit the block, the camera went shaky. So bit by bit, I'm learning how to manage these things. I'm sorry, you guys are the test dummies while I'm learning this stuff. So. Okay, good to go. Thank you. Hey, be careful, old guy, be careful. At what point does it become an insult? And what point does it become stop being an insult and become a question of pride? You know, Dave's so old and look what he manages to do, because even though he's so old. So I guess it becomes a kind of a badge of honor at some point. I don't know. I'm not that old, you know, I'm 65. I got a day or two left to go. There's been some stories in the Japanese newspapers recently about older people doing tech-savvy stuff. Just a minute. Sugi-san, you're on your way out. Thank you. Hi, thank you. So they're watching. So they're watching. Yep. 次は、水曜日来ます。水曜日、OK。僕も水曜日ですね。OK。はい。冷凍庫に。
冷凍庫1個だけお願いします。
これ何妖怪ナンバーワンですか？
妖怪、違います。
まだ弁当箱。
はい、あれです。新しいやつ。
で、弁当箱終わってから
ナンバーワン、ツー。やってきます。お願いします。終わったら、でも次のまたあれですよね。妖怪の試しがあるんですよね。次10、
そうかそうか。11月作品でしょ。
終わったら今度11月の作品。
そう。でもまだホテル途中。いや、君ももちろんホテル途中。
そっか、ホテル途中ですね。
ちょっと待って、10月作品 which is which? I get confused with which is which. 弁当は10月でしょ。
そうだ、11月。
次のものはコンビニ。コンビニ。でも川崎さん、今ホテル。
ホテル
まだホテル途中ですよ。1週間か10日間ぐらいかかりますよ。
本当ですか？
そう。
今回はすごい早くてちょうどよくて、
そう、次のものが遅くなったんですね。半分ジェッのせい、半分私のせいですね。遅くなったんです。そう。
じゃあまた
なんとか考えましょう。Okay, good night. Thank you. She's a nice girl too, nice girl. She's so happy here to get this chance, She's very, very happy. Kickstarter. What are you talking about Kickstarter already? Blah, 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 blah. Have you and the Mokuhankan staff ever had a forget the year party, Bonenkai? We haven't, it's funny. I've talked before in these things about how much we should have Japanese culture here and how much we should, do it different ways. For those of you who don't know, any group of any kind of people in Japan, a class group, a school group, a business group, a club of any kind, whatever, there's different times of year when it's de rigueur to have a party or a get-together. And near the end of the year is one of those things. And it's called, forget the year party. And the theory is supposed to be just have a drink together and all the bad stuff behind us, put it behind us and let's go and we'll be ready for a new year next week. And the bars and clubs and pubs and drinking places are just booked out solid all through December for these events. And we haven't, and we have a practical problem. There's 20 or so people working for us here, but we're scattered all over quite a wide area. And it's not the case where we all come to work every day in the same place. It doesn't happen like that. The 3 women who work in Ome, they have families, they have kids, they're in Ome 2 hours out by train. Do all the rest of us go out there for the party? Do the family women come in here for the party? Go home, arrive at midnight? It doesn't really work. So the question of how much is troublesome for these people as opposed to the pleasure they would get out of the event. And every time we've teased it up and talked about it, the ladies out in Ome just say, okay, you guys go ahead, but no thanks, not without us, So we haven't done that. In the early days of Mokuhankan, before we had Asakusa, before we had the other side, before those young printers came along, it was just me and those Ome ladies. We did the works. We had a Christmas party. We had a picnic in one summer. I made games for the kids. We tried to do it a more Canadian style, the way I had grown up with. But now we're stuck between the two, and we're doing neither, because it's too mindokusai, it's too troublesome. So we miss this. We miss the overall, everybody in the group getting to know each other. I don't have an easy answer, an easy way around it. I would like to do more events for all of us. But everybody's so busy. I did, didn't I? Come on, give me a... It's not a question of age, It's a question of, it's a limited number of things I can keep in mind anymore. When I was working at the music store, phone in one ear, phone in the other ear, you can handle all that stuff. I can't do that anymore. So yeah, I was old people in tech. There was no big story, major story. All it is that it's become a thing here for the media, newspapers to grab onto people. I mean, I'm talking about real old people. There's a woman who is 90-something, and she just finished writing an app for the iPhone You can look it up. This is a thing. I know it's a woman who's written an app on the iPhone using some kind of framework, and it does the arrangement for you of how you put the dolls on the Hina Matsuri. There's a doll festival in the spring. It's the Hina dolls, Hina Ningyo, and you put them one by one on this stand. And she has, quote unquote, written, so it says in the newspaper, an app to help people her age figure it out because it's too difficult to remember which one goes where and stuff like that. And this is not a rare story. Stories like this are coming up. The newspapers are filling their space with them. So I'm 65. I can make a web page. Big deal, If only I could remember my name. One thing also I see just now in the thread there, somebody's asking about the Kickstarter. I'm not going to beat this to death. I really don't like promoting it, but it is a big thing for us tomorrow. And what I've done is, Jed and I, this time around for the Kickstarter, we've done something a bit special for the video. For the first Kickstarter 5 years ago, we were really new at this. He and I had done not much together at all. I wasn't on YouTube so much. We really were feeling our way around this thing, but we inspected a bunch of other Kickstarter campaigns that we respected, that looked good, and we saw that all of them had really good video. And it seemed really clear to us that when you're doing a campaign like that, it didn't want to look amateur. Doing good video was important. So we hired a production company to help us with that video for the first campaign 5 years ago. And I'm embarrassed now about my part in it because they had said send something over. I didn't know what the hell to do. I wasn't doing anything with video at that time. So I stuck the camera in front of myself, looked dorky, and said something. And so I'm in the video there for only about 10 seconds. But the rest of it is really, really good because they went to Jed's place. They took a truck and mics and lights and a little dolly for rolling things around. And they did a bunch of animation stuff together with Jed. And the video was really, really well done. It cost us a fortune at that time, but it wrapped up into the campaign. So remembering that lesson, we did the same thing this time. Make a nice video. It's not like we have no content and we have to hide it with a good video, but let's just make a nice video. So we did the same thing, and this time I'm better at the video this end, so I prepared about half of the content. I prepared it here and sent it over. Where am I here? Just a minute. Let's do this corner next. And then the rest of it, a company came out, I guess, from Salt Lake or something, out to where Jed lives. And they brought a truck, and they brought lights and mics and all that kind of stuff. And patched my parts into it and did a really nice video. And it came through. It was the day before yesterday. It came here. I've showed it to a couple of people in the shop. And people think, wow, look at that. That looks cool. So I chatted with Jed about this. It's not supposed to go live and stuff till the 11th morning in New York or whatever the time is, but I'm gonna show it here in the Twitch stream. What's a good time to do that? It's coming up to 6 o'clock now. I studied my OBS broadcaster software, how to do that. So the video is sitting on my laptop and I've learned how to do it. I practiced it this afternoon, how to show a video into the stream while we're doing this. So. And Jed's like, well, if we show it on Twitch, people are going to copy and paste it around or something. I said, look, Jed, what's the worst could happen? Somebody steals it and throws it on the internet somewhere? Like, this is bad? This is against the grain. Sorry, just a minute. I'm cutting against the grain. And if I put the knife in just a bit too much, we've got a relief cut here, but it's still no guarantee. Yeah, not to explain the same thing every time, but when there's no support on the wood here, if I put the knife in too deeply here, the knife wedges and it can crack the line. So to stop that, I put a relief cut in here first, so that as I'm putting my knife in now, the wood on the waist side, you can see it coming out. The wood on the waist side moves, and the wood on the line doesn't move. Again, sorry for the people who know about that, but I guess there's a lot of new visitors here now every day almost, it seems. And that hosting thing seems to be catching on. So a lot of people are getting dumped in here, haven't a clue what's going on. Whatever. Ask questions in the stream. People are obviously willing to answer. Speaking about 90-year-old ladies, that's my mother this year. She's 90, and I'm doing the same thing I've been doing all years. I'm her service department, and she's past the stage of, when things don't work, plug it in and all that sort of stuff. But still, it's sometimes difficult to help her out at the other side of the Pacific Ocean. So. 青山さん、終わったんですか？今日どうせやったんですか？そうです。そうか。ハケでディップで？いや、ディップで。そうか、そうか。ごめん、全然。大丈夫、そんなことなかったから。今、また置いときますので。OK。そう、フローの中ですね。そうそう。今、放送中でしょ。あ、そうなんですね。そう。This is Aoyama-san. For those of you who don't remember, he's just been doing a dosa upstairs. The one I did last night was with the brush. He's gone and done it with the machine today, the dip machine. Paper for the yokai no tsugi no. 妖怪の次のやつと1月のやつ。So, for the next yokai subscription print coming up. 進みましたね。So, did you see? So, these Twitch people are helping me. I told you. He's been getting on at me for sort of wasting time with this Twitch thing and playing with kids and doing all this internet stuff. I'm working. It's no joke. It's keeping me back on the block. Look at it. もう1年の間に何もできなかったよ。笑ってる。Oh, good news. Good news. そう。質問とかもう同じ質問繰り返しですね。新しい人がどんどん増えてますから。僕は説明じゃなくて、やってる人たちが教えてくれる。そう。So the idea is I explain it once, then they all tell each other down the chain for the next 100 years. So whatever. コミュニティができてる。そう。I'm lost. Where was I? この中。じゃあ。Okay. Good night. See you tomorrow. じゃあ多めで。そう。9時半か10時くらいになるかな。じゃあ僕は朝ですね。僕は朝行くんですか？じゃなくてKickstarter 明日開きます。だから、予定はストリーミングなしですからやります。8時から1時間のストリーム。8時から9時まで。終わってから多め。あ、そう。だから僕そうになります。そう。わかりました。申し訳ないです。僕も明日そんな多くないんですよ。10個だけなんで。OK。石上さんも安井さんもいないです。対馬さんがやってますが。わかります。なんか持っていくもありますか？僕は何もない。ハンガー、これを僕持ってきますよ。大丈夫よ。No problem. Okay, good night, guys. 川合さん、オフですか？Say good night to your fans. Okay, see you later, guys. Okay, hi, good night. Okay, good night, guys. Thank you. Dave, what does it mean in Japanese when you say so? I guess it's a so desu ka? So desu ne. Yes, I don't remember exactly what you've been, but it's the yeah. I know my Japanese is, it's not, it's semi-bastard Japanese. I can talk, but I'm not trained, and I'm not correct. And my accent sometimes is pretty, it's really hard. It's an actual knot in the block. I get by, I speak in Japanese and it's okay and people understand what I'm saying. I give speeches, I'm on TV and whatever. I can do that much. I've done live NHK broadcasts. They trust me to get through it. But the accent is still pretty heavy, and when I'm just blabbing with people, it's okay. But when I'm trying to be a bit more formal and talk, it starts to get pretty square. I can't say trouble. That Ghibli presentation I did on video a while back, it was really so square. And there was people commenting on Reddit, cringe-worthy Japanese. And I get it. When I heard it too, I felt cringeworthy, but what the hell, you do what you can do and get through what you can do. If I waited and waited until I was good enough at something, you'd never, ever, ever get anywhere, so. Be careful, come on. There you go. Even with that relief cut, you know, it's still dangerous here. Look at this, I'm supporting with my finger. Bingo, out she comes. Very nice, let's pop this out now. If I've done it just right, the two V's match and it pops up perfectly. And if they're not perfectly matched, like this, one of them, well, there it is, it just comes out easily. I'm still not. Wasn't cringeworthy for me. I couldn't understand it. Yeah. It is. Japan is the top 5 hardest languages to learn. I don't know about that. You know, I don't know. Not that I'm a global language expert, but. Depends what you talk about by learning it. I mean, if you're going to learn all the kanji, you know, and do it reading and writing and sit down and be able to read the financial section of today's newspaper and all that stuff, then yeah, you got a challenge if you're going to do it, be Mr. Businessman and work for a company and have to learn all that stuff. But if you want to be a normal person communicating with people in a fashion that they can speak to without being knocked over, and it's not so bad, you know. The pronunciation is just sort of like an Italian kind of sound of word. It's consonants, vowels in exchange with each other. There's a very limited number of syllables. If you can get the pronunciation, you've got it. Every word spells itself. There's no spelling in Japanese. What I mean is, like in English, there's spelling. How do you spell the word there? It could be T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-I-R, whatever, because the sound doesn't tell you the spelling. The spelling rules are different from the sound rules. But in Japanese, they're identical. If you can say it, if you can hear it, then that's it. You just spelled it. Our company name is Mokuhankan. Spell it, please. Hi. Mokuhankan. That's the spelling. It's the same thing. So the speaking part is not so bad. You know, learning a bajillion kanji, which I haven't done, is a different story. So is Japanese a difficult language to learn? It depends what level and what depth you're going to try and do it. For me, because I'm my own employer, I'm not having to be hired by anybody, don't pass any tests, then I haven't bothered. I don't go to school, I don't study the kanji. I've got people around me who can do what's necessary. And I communicate very, very well. Some guy on Reddit finds it cringeworthy. Well, that's okay. I do too. I'm still nervous about this knot. You can see it, this big brown thing to show. There we are. Now, normally I'd pull back and do a chisel on there, but I'm moving the camera, banging the desk, all that stuff. So let's just scoop it out with these knives. Yeah, the kanji thing here, it's changing, you know. There's what they call the Joyo kanji, that's the standard set. I think there's 1,860 of them. currently. They keep changing it now and then. The set that they teach in school. And when you start at grade 1, it's all prescribed which ones they learn each year from grade 1 right up through. I think it's through 3rd year of middle school when they get that group. I don't think you have to go all through high school to get your basic level of literacy. And here, most people, really most people, get through middle school. But having said that, obviously, you don't remember them unless you use them. And now everybody's doing the phone thing, scribbling with their finger on glass, dictating to computers. And I've had experiences, you know, go to the package delivery service. I didn't get the label written for something, taking out a late night order. The staff's gone home, so whatever. I could write it myself with my childish writing. So no problem. I just take the blank label to the package delivery service around the corner. I can speak the address to the person. So I speak it, and the kid tries to write it, and he's looking at me like, how do you write that kanji? And it's the kanji for Ome, where I live, so I know it. So I scribble it on the desk. And he says, oh, that one, that one, that one. He writes it down. So yeah, kids these days, absolutely. I don't say that in the sense of kids these days are no good. Just it's simply, the culture is absolutely changing. And it's an open question, I think now, in any language. Are we going to need to be able to write it a generation from now? Or are the machines and tablets and phones going to actually do the physical putting the thing on down, you know? I don't know, open question. So I don't feel too bad about that stuff, you know. This is dangerous, huntily dangerous, crispy, crispy, crispy. Is the time off again? We were talking about that this morning, and there seems to be a clue about this. The time delay seems to be changing during the broadcast. As at the beginning of the broadcast, it's quite close, and maybe for all I know, at the beginning of the broadcast, it's exactly on. And bit by bit, they get out of sync, the audio and the video. So is that a hint to whether this is at my end with my broadcast software, or is that a hint to whether it's in your browser or in the Twitch system? I still don't know. And we've had a couple of suggestions here. So people really went to some time and trouble to try and suggest. They showed me in OBS how to actually change. I can delay the video as opposed to delaying the audio. But if it's changing throughout the course of a stream, I can't do that during the course of a stream. So it's still an open question. Where are we now? Can I tap and just see how it goes here? Okay, that knot is now officially gone. Thank you. Okay, where's next? Where's next? The octopus head is done. That's done. I think that was her leg. I'm not sure. Should we come around his eyes? Sound is early again. Or is the delay like an echo? It's okay now, you know, but once I'm printing and stuff, it's going to be really different. You know, there'll be total sound that'll match the action. It doesn't matter so much now because you can't see my mouth, and the carving I'm doing now doesn't make sound. But when I'm printing, shoop, 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 it'll be driving us all crazy. So I've got to sort this out before I get to that stage. This week has been way too crazy for it, but maybe what it'll be then is at some point do it just a test stream. Stop the normal broadcast for one session and ask people to just cooperate and send me feedback on how many seconds, and I'll do settings on the browser and on my broadcaster. And I don't see any other way to get to do it. So before we do that, I've got to study how to make my settings so I know what I'm trying to change. So, but not this week. Sorry. What time is it? 6 o'clock. I forgot to check if there's questions in the box there. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. That's another place I used to break all the time when I was younger. Getting to the end of lines like this, you cut along, cut along, cut along, cut along, and pop, the tip would break off. The tip wouldn't break off. I would break off the tip. I guess that's no joke, you know. Just even using that different language is a stage in your development, you know. I would have just said, the tip broke off, you know, like, once you get to realize that it's not the tip broke off, it's I did something, I broke off the tip. And you start thinking, okay, well, how can I do it so it won't break off, you know. I am using OBS, yes, and I've seen where that setting is. There's nothing I want to try fooling around with now in the middle of a normal stream. As I said, I'll study up a bit more exactly where all those settings are and how to use them. And then we'll just simply have to do a test stream with a few people who are willing to sit there and count milliseconds or something while I do the various settings, you know. But I saw those things too, talking about it's HTML5, you have to turn it off and this sort of thing, so in the browser. But the fact that it changes, it creeps during the course of the broadcast. So even if I set mine to say, move back 20 milliseconds or something, is it going to stay consistent? I don't know. Oh. Somebody in Europe, I guess. It's an order coming in at this time of day. It's usually Europe. When I wake up in the morning and find stuff in my box, it's mostly from the States. Is that a motorbike or are you hungry again? What? Is my mic catching noises? I don't know. I'm not specifically growling hungry, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe my mic tells a story that I myself don't know. But this octopus is really coming alive now, isn't it? I read somewhere, I don't know, a made-up story or not, about when the carvers did the prints in the old days, the last part they carved were the eyes. It sounds a bit like a sort of an apocryphal story, like some painter. The last thing he puts in is the eyeballs and then it comes alive, you know. So I don't know. I don't think the carvers were that, whatever, romantic or whatever the word is, you know. But maybe it was a custom, I don't know. Now you saw a few minutes ago Aoyama-san and Kawai-san left, together. There's one thing they're sort of not so happy about the other shop computer picked up same order. There's one thing they're not so happy about this recent new pattern for me, working like this in the evenings and doing this streaming. I live alone here. I don't cook for myself at all. Kawai-san also lives alone. Aoyama-san has a family, but he works late sometimes with me getting the sizing done. So it's been a habit sometimes. We get sort of finished our jobs and we're heading out. And I'm always going to a restaurant, so usually toss out, you guys want to come with me tonight, or you're on your own, or whatever. And Kawai-san always immediately says yes. I mean, he's a single guy living on his own. If he goes with me, I'm gonna pay the tab. I'm the boss, so of course I pay the tab. And he offers, but of course it's, what are you gonna do? I'm the boss, the employee. He comes out for dinner with me. Of course I pay for it. So. And Aoyama-san, though, he either goes home to have dinner with his family, or if it's a night when he's already told her he might be a bit late, he'll come with me, with us. And there's a million nice places to eat and drink around it. We don't get drunk or anything. We just go and have a beer and have a dinner, and then those guys go home. But since I've started doing this, so tonight, the two guys there, they would have left. I would have been leaving too. So Kawai-san is I'm sure he's not unhappy, but it's a downside to this thing, He got lots of free beer before, and now he's on his own for dinner. It's all your fault. Dots and lines, dots and lines. He's okay, he's a nice boy, he's coming along well. Again, he might be listening, so whatever, leave it alone. But he might be doing exactly that, sitting in a restaurant around the corner, listening to this. So let's let it go. Something else I meant to say thank you to. I don't know who's here or who's not here, but the map that's showing where people have been watching the stream from. That's fun, It's very much clustered in a few places that we would expect, but there's some outliers that are interesting to see. And I guess as time goes by, it's going to grow to be quite an interesting survey of where we are. So. Take the stream down. Yeah, it's possible. I've got a Wi-Fi. I've got a cell Wi-Fi router. Got the laptop. Got the camera. You have to be careful. Some restaurants are going to be not so happy with such a thing. You can't just do that anywhere. Start streaming from somebody's restaurant with other patrons there. But it could be doable. But what are you going to do? You're going to watch the three of us drink. That's no fun for a stream. If we were all speaking English, it might make more sense just have an evening out, put the camera up at one end of the table. Tell you there's an idea there in there. Okay, Jed-san is coming over here twice in the next few months. He's dropping over here for a few days in October. He's got teed up some company he's visiting for something or other that I don't know about. And he's also going to take a few days off for sketching. He wants to just grab some Japanese scenery. His wife has given him the okay to disappear for a few days. So he's coming over here in October. So getting him involved here, of course, is a no-brainer. And then he's coming again, he said, and this is confirmed, he said he's coming again in December for, it's the Tokyo, what's it called? Tokyo Comic Con? Don't quote me on that. It's a major convention happening here in December. He sent a helper to it last year, and they've, I guess, really strongly requested that he show up in person this year. Made him some kind of offer he couldn't refuse. And as I understand it, he's booked to come to that. I think it's Tokyo Comic Con, somewhere near the end of the year. So he'll be here. And that's a pretty busy event, so I don't know what might be possible or not possible, but let's put it on the idea file. Oops. Grain runs the other way here. Dangerous. Slice it out. He's a busy guy, you know, 3 kids. He really takes care of them well. His wife, of course, does too, but Jed's a good dad. I saw the other day too, his Instagram page, he started to put some pictures up about the Halloween stuff he's working on. I'm like, Jed, it's the beginning of September. What are you talking about? He said, well, we're planning something for my daughter this year that's going to take like 2 months to build. And he's already Instagramming it. If you're an Instagram member, Jed Henry's account, the Jed Henry at Instagram, he's talking about and I'm sure it's game related, it's some game character. I guess his daughter is just going to go ape shit or something when she sees her. I think they're building it together, perhaps. I don't know. So yeah, he's a good daddy. What's next? We are really cooking with gas here. Where's the other eye? So do that between the eyes here. Yeah, restaurant with a QA session, you know. So we'd have to work it out so that stuff we didn't have with us, you know, just answering questions without having tools and stuff is a bit funny. Where are we? Twitter.com, the Jed Henry. I think Instagram is where he's putting up pictures. Well, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, what should we do? People are starting to leave here, so let's know. My finger's twitching on the click button here for this video. Can we do that? Let's put this here. Let me find this. My mic is on. I'm not quite sure about the sound settings here. I've got this Kickstarter video teed up, and if I understand the software correctly, I click on the scene here to bring it up, and it should play automatically. It should play with sound, but I can't hear the sound because this thing is all, the feedback is turned off. So let me know in the chat if the sound isn't there or something. Let me know what's happening or what isn't happening. Not like I'll be able to fix it. Anyway, let me do this. Kickstarter 2017 campaign video. Let's give this a shot. Looks good.
Hi everybody, I'm Jed Henry. I'm the artist behind Ukiyo-e Heroes. You might have seen my work floating around online, on Reddit or on Instagram. It sounds crazy to say this, but it's been 5 years since we started this series back in 2012. Back then, I did a Kickstarter campaign with my partner Dave Bull, whom you might know as a celebrated Japanese woodblock printmaker.
Dave here, sitting in what has become a very familiar location to viewers of our printmaking videos, our shop in Asakusa in Tokyo. The Ukiyo-e Heroes concept that Jed created 5 years ago has now become a mature and healthy project. During that time, he and I have together created dozens of designs, and many thousands of people all over the world are the proud owners of some of these prints. And here at this end, we now have steady and stable employment for a group of young people working hard to master the skills of traditional printmaking.
My favorite part of this whole project is the fact that we are training a bunch of really talented apprentices over at Dave's workshop in Tokyo. These people are working hard to learn the craft so that they can pass it down into the future and preserve this art form. We're very grateful to you guys, our fans, and our collectors for helping us make this possible.
Now, alive and well this series may be, but after 5 years, Jed and I think it is now possible to take things to another level. Over that time, my workers here have been steadily improving their skills, and this workshop is now capable of creating prints of greater complexity than was possible for the earlier designs in this series. Our previous ukiyo-e heroes images were either character studies like this, or scenes of pending action like these. But we feel we are ready to unleash a hidden energy in Jed's brush to take on quite a new and different challenge. So we now bring you what the Jesus, Mr.
Print them and get them into your hands.
From one guy around 6 or 7 years ago, we now have 20 people on our team here. Printing, carving, shipping, print partying. Ukiyo-e Heroes has transformed our lives. It's starting to get actually a bit scary, and I have no idea where it's all going to lead, but we're riding this tiger now, and we just have to see where it takes us. I hope you will come along for this new part of our exciting journey and join this campaign. We're ready to make a whole new level of interesting prints for you. From Jed and I and all the very busy craftspeople here in Tokyo, thank you very much. Don't shoot me, okay? Don't shoot me, okay? Let's have some fun with this. But you saw plenty of stuff there. There's plenty of stuff. The people, 1 or 2 people in the shop here who I have shown the whole thing to, went nuts when they saw those scenes at the end, the things that Jed's been drawing for this campaign. And Jed's always on at me. There's certain games that are more popular than others. There's certain things that are more popular than others. And I'm not so big on the popular games, but what I've been telling him again and again and again is, Jed, get your brush out. Put away the computer, put away the Photoshop, draw stuff. And he's, whatever, he's doing it. He's drawing stuff, physical, ink on paper. And my God, when he does that, plus a good game, a game that's popular, people love, plus that wet ink splashing on paper, then we got something. And that's where we're at with this next group of things you'll hear about for real tomorrow. So sorry for the bit of playing with you there, but hey, why not? Now I can get back and do a bit more work here. If anybody's still left watching. There's something else too here. It looks like I've learned how to do that, to put in video, to mix it with this. So there's lots of things we can do with this, aside from joking around and campaigns like this. Things that if I've tried to answer a question and haven't succeeded with answering, I can tee up a little bit of video from something previous in YouTube or something. Now that I've learned how to do this, and pop that into the Twitch stream. So this, I think, is going to be quite useful. The more I'm learning about this software, this OBS, the more pleased I am. Clearly, it's lots of things in there I don't understand yet. So. The video was synced because also it was, of course, wasn't playing through my camera. That's an interesting point. Why was the video synced but this isn't? Good question. It was a media clip coming into OBS, so it's a single source. It didn't come from a separate mic and video. Interesting. Good point when we're trying to investigate this lag problem. That's a good data point. I'm loving these curves, these eyes, you know. This is what I was made for. I love this stuff. As I told you before, I've spent years and years, the first 10 years of my professional work here was carving curves like this for those poets' prints. And man, that guy was good at it. That's what the brush is made for. It's the same thing as just Jed. We just saw Jed with his brush there, you know. I can't do it. I've got no skill at all with that. Not that I'm stupid, but just I haven't spent time doing it. And people like Hokusai and then Jed nowadays. Just the way that the ink just flows out of that brush and the movement. I'm happy just to be able to do my part of it, you know. I lost one chance when I was thinking about websites and names and what to do for the company name and stuff like that. One idea was to call myself the Iron Brush. And this is a steel blade, but we're trying to recreate these brush strokes, you know. So I thought that was real cool, the Iron Brush. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately for me, not for him, Ford Hallam, my friend Ford Hallam, is it a metalsmith he calls himself? He makes sword fittings. That's his, whatever, trademark. I mean, he picked that up. It's his website and his thing. So it makes sense for him too. He's, you know, tapping and using his steel tools to make flowing, beautiful curves and shapes in metal. So the Iron Brush works for him just as well as it does for me. So, and he got it. So all power to him. You know, he thought of it first. You know. I did get in one because I was on the net so early, 1997. I got a good domain name, a single dictionary word, woodblock.com. Just it was there for the asking back then. And I get I get frequent requests to sell it. No way, of course. I've had a couple of attempts to steal it, actually. People trying to hijack it from my domain server. It's locked now, very carefully locked. But before they had domain locking and stuff, there were attempts to steal it. But yeah, Ford got a good one, the Iron Brush. I'm jealous. Yeah, Iron Chef, so. That's a different nuance, you know. These Japanese shows, the Iron Chef and the Iron Cook, what they're from, the thing they're trying to demonstrate is not that it's steel. These are Iron Men. I know, an Iron Man being a guy who's so strong and you know, vigorous. So that's where the Iron Chef comes from. It's not from the frying pan. It's from the person, you know, the Man of Steel, the Superman, Iron Man. A few years back, I was trying to convince some of the people in the field here, the traditional craftsman's field here, that what we should try and do to encourage some interest in this, and to try and encourage some youngsters to do this, is we could run our own sort of pseudo-Olympics. There's a bunch of skills involved in this that could really be tested and measured. Some basic skills, there's a million of them. If you wouldn't know about them, you wouldn't know about them. For example, we sit down and make a batch of prints. Okay, you get the paper stack ready. Okay, how many are you going to do? You're going to do 100 sheets. So you got to count your 100 sheets of paper. And you've probably seen these competitions where girls who work in banks and something, they count banknotes. They've counted it. Well, we don't do it to that extent, but we have to be efficient at counting paper. And it's a basic skill. You've got to count the sheets of washi ready for printing without folding or mutilating them or putting creases in them. And there's certain tricks and techniques on how to do that. And in the old days when there were apprentices all over the place going into workshops all over the place, they would have seen the guy in the corner doing this, and they would have picked it up and learned how to do it, and chuk, 65 sheets. And stuff like that would be the perfect thing for a pseudo-Olympics to help young guys show off their skills and practice and get more people interested in it. Counting paper and moistening a batch of paper. Of course, there's some simple printing stuff. How fast can you print 10 of them without getting the registration marks off? And there's any number of events that could have been done. Tying the bamboo skin on a barren. And I tried to convince some of the people in the Craftsmen's Association to do this. And it went over like a lead. Nothing. Nobody was interested in even trying it, and I guess I could see why. They would have to. You do this, you get the kids lined up, you get the TV crews in, and of course the older guys have to demonstrate these things, and nobody wants to be shown up or to lose or to make it look like they're not doing it as fast as the next guy. This is Japan. Nobody wants to seem bad at something, speaking English or doing whatever. The fear of losing or looking like a fool is palpable here in this society. I mean, I don't have it. It's not in my DNA, and probably most of you guys watching too. Whatever, try something. Do it. Fall on your face, laugh, pick up, and try again. Japanese DNA is different. So the idea went nowhere. Whatever. Kids these days can't have a fate. You're talking about Japanese kids or anywhere or whatever. I don't know. I read that too, that kids are taken care of too much and everybody wins and everybody succeeds, but you need to learn how to fall down more. I don't know. A bit tough to generalize across the world. I realize as I sit here thinking about this, I've built myself into a really difficult situation now. What to do on tomorrow morning's Twitch stream. Well, the one at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is still well in advance of the Kickstarter campaign opening. What do I do? Because they're expecting me to show them something. And I've kind of got myself in a bit of a jam now. Do I do the same thing with them that I did with you tonight? Or do I show the real one? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Didn't think that far in advance. Okay, yeah, but tomorrow is Tuesday, so there's not supposed to be any streams tomorrow, morning stream or evening stream. But during yesterday's morning stream, I realized that it was going to be the day of the Kickstarter campaign. So I told them yesterday morning that there will be a special Tuesday morning stream, probably a shorter one, an hour instead of an hour and a half. And I'll just delay going out to Ome. I'll do the stream first, talk about the Kickstarter, and then go to Ome. So I sort of teased a bit that I would do a Tuesday stream, which I normally don't do. So I've ended up thoroughly confusing everybody, of course. But anyway, I got to do it now because I did tell them yesterday there will be a special Tuesday morning stream for one time only. So I will be back here tomorrow morning, and I teased them about Kickstarter. And my question now is, what should I do about the video? I've got two versions on my computer here. I've got the real Kickstarter video, and I've got the one I just showed you. How do I end up getting my life so complicated? Why do I let things get so complicated? Just trying to have fun, you know. I'm not trying to tease people in an evil sense. I'm having fun with what I'm doing. We try to keep a light feel to this. Absolutely, we try and have fun sometimes. I have to show them the fake, but now we've already talked about this. It's out here on this stream, you know? So there's going to be people there who have seen this, who will be in that stream tomorrow. And will they shut up about it? Or will they tease me back and say, look out people, Dave's trolling you. You see what I mean? It's going to go round and around here. It's going to come back to me. Because this is out there now. So it's not so simple anymore, what I should do. Unless I get back to my video editing software tonight. And, God, like I don't have anything else to do. Spoilers, nay. I'm really sorry about this, people. Okay, so you think then, in the spirit of the modern system where people really try to avoid spoiling, you're thinking that nobody will spoil it than tomorrow. Even if somebody's in tomorrow morning's stream who knows what's about to happen, you're thinking they'll probably keep quiet. Is that the idea? Can I count on that? Or they're going to get back to me with something worse/better. Ah, Soka. Start the stream, then spend 25. Thank you for watching. Ah, that's a bit. You mean don't show it anything, you mean? So you're thinking that nobody's going to spoil it? Well, I can make the request then. Anybody that has been here tonight who is around tomorrow morning, if I can just make that request then, just sit on your hands, if you will, or if you can think of some way to make it more interesting without spoiling it. If I can put that request in then. Dave, you should make audiobooks. Actually, I've got a bunch of stuff like that on the website there, you know. For 10 years, I did a story, not a stream, I'm going to say a story stream. I did a stream of stories, a small story once a week, and I did an audio version of it, and they're still there. It's on the net under single word, astoryaweek.com. And I haven't been keeping it up since the Asakusa shop opened. Just life got just way too much, and I wasn't able to keep it up. So the most recent 3 or 4 months of stories on there, the audio link is dead because that's the first thing that fell off when I ran out of time to do it all. But if you go back a few months from the last ones, there's audio, an audio version for all the rest. And the earliest ones, 13 or 14 or 15 years ago, have bad audio. I didn't know what I was doing. It got better partway along. And they're light episodic stories. I don't have any special message this day, just sort of the same kind of things we're doing, just right here, right now, except each one was an actual story. So they're there if you still need more things to help you get to sleep. astoryaweek.com. I'd love to do that again. You know, what I kept a file of ideas for that thing. And people, my kids even asked, Dad, you're going to run out of ideas. What are you doing? You can't tell a story a week, you know. I thought, well, let's see. I kept the file. And by the time I ran out of time and had to put that to bed for a while, you know, 3 years ago because of the shop, the file was growing way faster than a story a week, you know. And once the shop opened, my God, the story episodes come thick and fast, you know. Audiobooks, nay. I'm not sure if I'd be good at it now. I've lost a bit of control over my tongue and my elocution and stuff like that. When I was in school, in high school, there was an episode related to that. This is back in the early 60s, I guess, 62 or 63 or somewhere. And there was all kinds of like new ideas in education and stuff. There was new math and new this and new that. And our high school tried some sort of a concept of team teaching for the English classes. And rather than have just 6 classes all doing exactly the same thing at all the same time, the 6 teachers got together and worked up some kind of team teaching concept and broke the students up into groups based on, it wasn't like A students, B students, C students. It wasn't levels. It was on aptitudes and interests and different people that were interested in different things. Put them in the 6 groups instead of just 6 random groups of students. And I was picked for one of the groups. How do I start it? There's this thing in English class where, I don't know if they still do it or not, whatever. There's a novel or something. We're doing Moby Dick or whatever it is, you know, whatever. And it's not all just studying about the thing. The teacher would ask us to read in turn. Like the person on the first desk, stand up and read 2 paragraphs. Sit down. The next person reads 2 paragraphs. So we'd read this thing, you know, in turn. And I don't know if they still do this in schools or whatever not, but they did it then. And this I was good at. Because it turns out that, you know, I was a reader, right, since I was a little kid. And I guess inside my head I was doing voices and stuff, you know, different people in the book. I would be hearing them or whatever, or doing them in different voices. So when I get up and it's my turn in high school, the kid in front of me is whatever doing, and just because I was whatever, I'd do, you know, something exciting. You know, the thing would sound exciting. So the person there gets 2 paragraphs, somebody else gets 2 paragraphs. She just lets Dave roll on and on and on and on and on for a page and a page and a page, you know, until finally she turns me off and says, next kid. So I was selected for the team teaching group that was going to do, instead of studying stuff, we made a radio play. They had some script somewhere that was usable by students. And we spent the whole year doing the radio play. And I'm like the lead guy, the handsome, romantic lead guy. If this was a movie, you know, it would have been, this is the guy that gets the girl and all the other stuff. And it was so absolutely against my character. I was the shyest guy in the whole freaking school, and here I am given this role, you know. But I could do it because what I could do was read and imagine these things. I'm having a good time here. This is really nice work. These curves are so pleasure. The wood is nice at this area. There was that one hard spot, but other than that, it was okay. I'm moving along. These curves are just coming out. Look at these eyes. How are we doing for time? I'm still okay for a while. 7 o'clock. Where are we here? Mad Men. Yeah, this is the thing, I mentioned this before. This image was shown on Mad Men, but please understand what they did there was they really oversized it. The original was a book page. I don't have an original. We'll get a mock-up or something. It's about like my two hands. It's a small paperback book, opened up like the size of my two hands. That was the original of this picture. I'm making it, give you a better idea of this, if you can see it. That's the size I'm making it, which is scaled up to a standard Japanese book size, not that chibi book size that those porn books were made of. And the Mad Men guys blew it up, like you see if you've got a video clip there. So I'm really worried about this, that people are going to order this at the point when we finally get it in production. They're going to receive it and think, what? That's all? So we're really going to have to be careful. Show pictures on the website of me standing holding it or something or whatever. But yeah, they put it on TV, So what am I worried about here with Twitch? Crunch. So was that TV in the sense of normal TV, like people sit in their house and watch it? I mean, I haven't had a TV ever, so I don't know. That Mad Men program, was it a place where kids couldn't see it or something? I don't know, the rules are different for that sort of thing. I will finish clearing this corner and then head for dinner, get a beer. I'm going to go to Goodfellows tonight. It's a little restaurant around the corner here. They call themselves Goodfellows, and they've got as their logo a picture of four guys. Looks like some Italian mafioso or something. I guess it's a riff on some movie, I guess. Little details about copyright and licensing or something. Go by the board here, I think. But they make a nice, what's it called? Lokomoko. It's a bit of a boom here. A lot of the restaurants have started to do that. Brazilian or something, I guess. I don't know. And they have a half and half beer, which is half of a black beer and half of a lager. It's kind of a nice mix. That's against the grain. It really doesn't want to go that way at all. I don't want to come up to this thing the wrong way here. Can't be helped. Here we go. What kind of wood? It's Japanese cherry wood, which is what we use for all of our work. Japanese cherry, it's Yamazakura in Japanese. It's got just the right balance between hardness for fine lines and wearability, and yet it still absorbs water. There's harder woods, but they don't drink water well enough to be printable. They're like metal or something. So yeah, Japanese Yamazakura. It's too bad that it's not the same cherry that's the flowering cherries, the Yoshino. Because there's so many of those trees growing and dying. This lasts about 60 years and they've got to be replaced. So there's dead cherry wood available all over the place. But unfortunately, it's the wrong kind of cherry. It's not just wrong in name, it really doesn't work. The pores are too large. and the color doesn't come out as flat, smooth color. It's mottled. Okay, gang, I'll be off in a few minutes here. So tomorrow, Tuesday, there'll be no evening stream. Absolutely no evening stream. And I'm sorry, Wednesday night, it's the Kickstarter media presentation show, pony show. And they've even given me a dress code, whatever. So I'm going to try and go to that. That'll be Wednesday afternoon, evening. Not to be sarcastic, they're going to really help promote all of the new Japanese creators on Kickstarter. And so that's Wednesday night. So this will be the last evening stream for 3 days. I'm sorry about that. I'll be back here Thursday night, absolutely, no doubt. And tomorrow morning will be a special, shorter morning stream. I've got to get out to Ome, but I'll do the thing with the Kickstarter video first. And Wednesday morning, back to normal. The block's coming along really well. Can I zoom out? I'm very, very happy with the progress. I'm happy with the way it's worked. Something else, look at this. Maybe you can see this now. Look at this, look at this. See the part I carved this morning? See the different color tone to some of the parts I carved, whatever. This part was carved weeks ago. This was carved yesterday. This is the open wood that hasn't been touched. It's been months, it's been sitting. There's a color difference. And you don't notice it day by day, but this stuff gets toned. I think it oxidizes or whatever. I don't know, it just gets older really, really quickly. And when you carve out a new part, the inside wood is much lighter tone. And in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, this is going to change color bit by bit to match what you see there. So actually, if I was sitting here analyzing this, I can see what I carved this afternoon, what I carved this morning, what I carved yesterday. It all changes bit by bit quite rapidly. It doesn't mean anything because once we get printing, bang, it's going to be black ink all over it. But it's kind of curious. The wood shows that quick an effect from being exposed to oxygen. I'm rambling. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks very much for going along with that little joke this evening and whatever. Let's have some fun with this. I'll see you again. If you're an evening viewer, I'll see you again in a couple of days. If you're a morning viewer, I'll see you perhaps tomorrow. Thank you again. Good night.